should come and ask each person. Um, okay, so I call this meeting to order, and I welcomed you guys. And usually we don't do a roll call because Kathy's doing it right now. You can see, look, she looks like she's watching a tennis match, but she's taking
Yes.
your all's names down. Um, and well, okay, you can do that while I'm talking. But
Mhm.
and then the minutes, Kathy, we post those like after, she gets them typed up and everything. And I did not say, I didn't say go read the minutes. Um, but yeah. And but anyway, you can go back and read the minutes because we don't take time to sit here and read over what she has already posted. That's why she posts that. So let me see. So the secretary did that. And if you read the minutes, did you have any uh discrepancies with the minutes? The yay or nay?
No,
Okay,
no.
good answer. Good answer. Good job, Michelle. Oh, and there's another Michelle. She's hiding today. And Barb is a very faithful person. She's like our family away from home. So yeah, and love you so much, Barb. But
We love Barb.
yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. So let's
Who
see.
is Bobby C, please? What's Bobby C's last name?
Hi, I'm Bobby Cook. I'm down in
Thank,
Nicholas County.
thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then we also do that usually because Debbie is on the other side maintaining this, and she'll say, hey, show your face or talk, because we want to make sure we don't have any guys in here.
Hey,
But so
Bobby, are you
we're good to go.
COOK or COOKE?
COOK.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Only thing, we'll go ahead and do the treasury report. If Christy, if you can do that, so you don't have to hide out in the hallway of the school or whatever. And if you can't, I can do it. You sent it to me today.
I got it. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I had the wrong thing in my up by my face.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this treasurer's report, get back to it, goes from actually the beginning of the year until end of October. I'm waiting on November and December statements. I'll post that next week whenever we finalize it. But we started with $1,678.15. $235 we collected in club dues, and then $54 in state dues, but that immediately gets returned to the state to pay for our state dues. The retreat income $2,633.57 and expenses of $1,720 and 42 cents. There's still some fluctuation in that retreat with a net of 913.15 shown for this October, but again, we still have some activity in November and December that changes that number a little bit. Sales, and these are sales and stuff that we sold for women's beekeepers. So those former mugs, any additional shirts outside of the retreat, anything like that. We had income of $702.64 and expenses of $246.67. I have a category of miscellaneous expenses. That's like the Zoom fees
Right.
or any other miscellaneous fees that we might have. And that's all detailed if anyone would like to see those. That's $343.29. And then we have a scholarship. We actually have two scholarships. We had the $1,000 scholarship and then a $100 scholarship this year that we acquired from WBBA. And out of that, we've only spent $422.52. We have a remaining of $677.48 to spend. That leaves our ending cash balance as of October 31st of $3,616.46.
Good
And
deal.
again, the reason that it's October, I know Sue has a whole heck of a lot more going on than me, but the last 2 months have been pretty wild and chaotic for me.
Yes,
Um,
it has. We're
story for
we're
that.
good. We're good.
Yeah, story for that later. But I'll get up to date, and 2025 is going to be better.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. I guess as for everybody okay with the treasurer's report? Yay, nay, if you're not.
Yay.
All right. Read
Yay.
a stand. Do I make a motion or have a motion? No, just approval.
Nope, we
That's
need a
it.
motion. We need two motions.
I
Okay.
motion to approve
Okay.
the treasurer's report.
Okay,
I
Kathy.
second it.
Okay,
Second.
that was Sue. So, all right. Yeah, and on that, we'll go to unfinished old business after that. And we were gonna, I asked Rhonda to check in on the what we were talking about, and we have been talking about it since July. That's the only reason I don't like meeting like this, because previous years we met, each month and we could keep up on it. And so I think we've all just fallen away
Mm,
from our club meetings, and because, 4 times out of the year, it's hard for me to remember, oh yeah, we said we were going to do blah blah blah, until it comes up and I read it in the minutes and go, oh crap, we didn't even look into that. So this is it. We have the treasurer with us now. We need to decide for a fact how many, and Rhonda can tell us about that. I know Kathy she uses this company program each year, but Rhonda brought it to us during the retreat and we really enjoyed it. And go ahead, Rhonda.
Um, it's called the Heifer Organization. It's an organization that supports women throughout the world. One of the stories that they sent in the postcards that I brought to the retreat was these three ladies from Mexico who basically have elevated their village through beekeeping. And so at the July conference that we had down in Jackson's Mill, we had decided that we as women beekeepers would like to support that. And if I remember correctly, is it like 30? I'll have to look. It's like 30 or $50 to buy a hive for them.
Yeah, it was cheap. I
Um,
bet it was 30 because
I
it
think
was
it was
cheap. I
30.
couldn't believe
And
it.
we
Yeah.
had said that we wanted to do two of them, and it kind of fell by the wayside, and we've not followed through on that. So I definitely will get everything ready for the purchase of it since it was already voted on. It's already in the
Right.
minutes. It just needs to
Hmm.
be done, and it has not. And um, so I will get that taken care of
Okay.
and get with Christy on
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And yeah, that just makes me happy. So
Yeah,
we can help those ladies, and it's not costing us anything. I mean, what's $60, right?
nothing. I mean,
So
we can't buy bees for that much.
I wish we could. I
I
wish
know.
we could. So
But
that
worthy cause.
yeah, thank you, Rhonda. Yep. Okay, so that's going to be a check mark
Okay.
within the next month
Yep,
that
I'll have it
that
done.
part is done. And another thing we were talking about is our grant. Christy touched on it. That was one of the things that she said with $1,000. Rhonda wrote us up a beautiful grant last year, and we won.
Mhm.
And through the WVBA, and what that is West Virginia Beekeepers Association, and that's the state. And so we received that grant, and the only thing we bought Sue some microscope
Slides.
slides, thank you. And they
Mhm.
were $422. And so we have $577 left. And we wanted to do a fence down because Christy is going to have bees down by where we're camping at. So I'm getting ready to travel. Yeah, you go right ahead. We'll catch up
Safe
with you. And like I
travels.
said, huh?
I told her safe travels out on these roads.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, so if we buy the solar, I looked it up today, and the ones that I use at Southern States are 420, no, 200, and I don't remember. It's $349.
Huh.
So that leaves us with a total of $227 for like uh, fencing wire and poles and stuff like that. So I think we'll probably use every bit of it. And then I thought, if um, we had extra left, we wanted to buy the the frames that shows disease, but I know Sue has them, so maybe we can rent them off of her. She gave them to us last year during her class, but so there's no sense really for us to buy them because Christy has, I think, the live hive, the healthy hive frames. But yeah. And so
And
so
Phyllis, I
yeah,
have both sets. I have the
I know
healthy
you.
hive and the
Yep,
diseased hive set.
yep, yep. I know you do. That's exactly right. So, um, and then with that, and we also okay. That's enough about the grant and um, shoot, Sue went to the expo in Kentucky, and Debbie did too, but she can't speak. And but she went to the microscopic class, and here comes a stranger. And so I
It
want
was
her to tell,
amazing.
yeah, I want her to tell us that. But we also in old business said we were going to pay for her class that she went to. So we will do that for you, Sue. I know I spoke to you about it yesterday, but
Yes.
so don't say anything. It's a done deal. We'll put
Don't
Christy. We've
argue
got two
about it.
jobs for her. Huh?
Tell her not to argue with you.
That's right. That's right.
Good
So,
luck.
but but so you go ahead and you can tell us about, your class and what the guy taught you.
So I was very lucky. It sold out in about an hour and a half. He ran 4 classes and we had like maybe 12 people to a class because Cayman Reynolds purchased the microscopes for us to use, which are like $400 a pop. So he's got those now in Nobby's North American Honeybee Expo's, repertoire for next year. The gentleman that taught the class, his name is Etienne Tardif. He is the only beekeeper in the Yukon. He is an engineer, does all kinds of he's amazing at Excel spreadsheets and doing research. But he only keeps about 8 to 10 hives. He wants it to be something fun and not a job. And he has learned to smash his bees and to look for pollen pretty much on his own. So the knowledge he taught us is fairly basic, straightforward. And I'm going to be able to bring it back to the women's retreat this year.
Nice.
It's going to be a ball. We're going to be able to bring in fresh bees. You're going to be able to bring in bees from your hives. And I've learned how to smash their guts out. And right now, the only thing I know to look for is nosema, which looks like Rice Krispie. They look like little rice granules, and we really don't want to see them. But we also learned how to look for pollen out of their gut. He also taught us, and I'm going to purchase it on my own because I want it for my house, is an inexpensive centrifuge. So you can take your honey, and your honey has pollen floating in it, but those pollen specks are very small. So if you take your honey and you spin it, it causes your pollen to settle to the bottom. And then you can make a microscope slide from it. And you can ID, not to plant, but to family, what pollen you're seeing in your honey. It was just really neat. So I got a cursory knowledge, and now it's up to me to work really hard to teach myself the next 6 months on how to better perfect this. But like all of us are doing, we learn by doing, and we'll learn a little bit this year. We'll learn a little bit more next year. Also, Phyllis, Nancy Postlethwaite called me today and was asking about the slides because she works with Fairmont High School. And she and I were talking, and I do not have a microscope I could take pictures with, but I have a friend of mine who is a professor at a local university, and I'm gonna get her to do the dirty work for me. So next year when I run that microscopy class, as long as I can make the technology in our mix, I'm going to be able to take multiple pictures of each of those 18 slides, and I'm going to be able to run it on a continuous PowerPoint up on the screen
Oh,
while
perfect.
everybody else is looking at the slides. So if you're somebody, you're not getting a good, because those microscopes at Jackson Mill, they were wonderful to use, but they're a low grade rudimentary scope. So if I can have those 18 slides and multiple views of each slide and run it on a continuous loop up on the screen, we're going to have multiple things going on within that room that should address something that everybody has interest in.
Well, that's good, because I only got to see one slide. You know, I mean, yeah, I went around and talked a lot, but you know, so if that was up there, I could have at least seen those.
Yes.
So that's
yes,
perfect.
it's going to be a ball.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
super
good
excited,
deal.
but
Good deal.
it was
Me
great.
too.
He was wonderful. I can email him anytime I want.
Perfect.
He was just, he was amazing. So it was just an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience. So the microscopy thing this year, as long as she could fix the broken scopes I found for her last year, we're going to be in great shape.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'm already excited. I get winter over with and get it here.
Oh, please.
Um,
I'm going crazy. Get winter over with. Whew.
I know. I know. I know. My daughter's out. She's been over 24 hours without heat, and luckily she belongs to a great air guard, and she's babysits my dog, and she has her big German Shepherd, and there was only 5 at work today, so they said, yeah, bring them. And so she's sleeping on their couch. And she showed me a picture of them a while ago, and they were all running around the planes and everything that's in the hangar. It's like, oh my gosh. So, but anyway, yeah, there's a lot of people in St. Albans area. I guess, Barb, do you have, yeah, I saw lights on. You have electricity, but I looked at her pinpoint and there was 59 still out in her area. So, and by 11 o'clock tonight, they think. So, but okay, so, um, that's about all I have for old business. Anybody else remember anything else that we were talking about? Yeah, I see lights on Barb's house. Good deal. Good deal. So, um,
Yeah, but the thing is that I've been home all week. I mean, I haven't been over to Missy's because I can't get out from St. Albans, and then they live in
yeah,
the country, and I can't get out to her house. So
yeah.
I've
Well,
had a long weekend.
yeah,
We all have.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
Okay, in the old business, it was also the garden that Sue and I were discussing briefly. That
Yes,
we're gonna put in at
yes.
Jackson's Mill. We're gonna go for we're gonna add to the pollinator garden. I don't know where they want us to have it yet, but I'm doing a couple gardens for master gardeners and myself. And if you're interested, I bought these to show my master gardeners, but I thought we could use these in Jackson's Mill too to identify our plants.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
perfect.
They're
Yeah.
not expensive. That's the best part.
Okay.
And that's one thing I noticed when we were at at Jackson Mill, we were identifying plants. They
Hmm.
put these in there. It would help everybody. I
Yes,
got
yes, it would.
25 of these for $14 with the pencil. So that's a good deal.
Well, what you need to do is make a list of what you need,
Right.
you know, what you want to buy. And then we'll have our board meeting and then we can take it from there.
Right. So what I
Um,
did was I want these
yeah.
I'm doing a project for the master gardeners at the fairground, and they want
Okay.
signage. And I really
Yep.
like the signage so much. I want to put it in my garden because signage is so hard.
Oh, sure,
And I
sure.
thought that at this price and how clever these are, they're really they'll last a whole lot longer than everything else I put in my yard. The plastic falls apart.
Oh,
Kathy, is
absolutely.
that a grease pen you're using on there?
No, it's a charcoal pencil. Pencil lasts
Ooh.
longer in weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
if you're on plastic, you know, the
Hmm.
plastic stickers, but these are
Hmm.
nice because they're a lot taller.
Yeah,
They're about 10, 12 inches. I just love them. And I thought that we could use them there too. And I think that would help
absolutely.
their gardens
Abs-
out.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
So, good deal. Um, All right, so I'm done with old business now, right? Oh, we're gonna have when spring comes, then Kathy and Sue will get together and figure out a work day. And then we'll come all over, probably, I don't know. I mean, weekend or whatever works better for you all. Might put a poll on our group and see who can, who can be there during the weekday and who can be there during the weekend and see how many people you can get, you know, and then that will tell you where we're gonna go. Turn that ball game off, girl. I do want to hear.
The other thing, when you're talking about Lowe's, we'll probably need some garden soil. We'll be able to get that at Lowe's.
Okay. Debbie.
We love Deb, but mute her WVU basketball cheering self.
Yeah, exactly. Here, start cheering. And all right, so anybody have any new business what you would want to see us do in the future? Everybody's looking at me.
Well, you're talking of some of the new business, I guess. Some of it we discussed last year about, because I have the hours in front of me. That's why I'm saying that. You talked about vendors for the next conference. The next conference in 2025 is scheduled for the last 2 weeks in September, and they're looking for a new keynote speaker. And Deb wants us all to get involved in the Buzz Bowl.
Yeah, okay, that's still old business. So, well, it's old business now because
Right.
if it was new business last time, it's old business now. So, right? I mean, I may not be right,
You are
but
right.
yeah, so that and the conference is coming up in March, and that's in Marion County or whatever, but they don't have any vendors there. They don't have any room for them. So, but yeah, and Debbie reminded me that if anybody takes or any, not just ours, but any new beekeepers class, and they're, I don't know what they're considering a new beekeeper. Um, well, I was told that I'm not a beekeeper until year 5. So, yeah, and a true beekeeper. Um, so that's like, my dogs, they're a pup until they're 3, and then they kind of grow up and they know what I expect. So that's, kind of the way with the beekeepers, it takes 5 years for you to really become a true beekeeper because by that time you've seen everything that can be thrown at you. And that's not true because I still find stuff and I go, what? What is that? And so, but all right, Margaret. Thank you so much. It's good seeing you. But for the fall conference, if you attend a beekeeping class for beginners, which I think we only have a couple here, then you get to go to that conference for free.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is.
It's
think
always been there. It's just that we've never taken advantage of it.
Right.
So, but that's for the fall conference. That's not for this spring conference that's coming up. So, but yep. So that's that. So if we don't have any new business, just think. I mean, just remember we are doing the retreat. We are doing the workshop after the bee classes, and that'll be in April. Some probably in May. It all depends how wet the the spring is. And then we're doing the pollen garden, and we have to build fence and we could do that maybe the same day that we're there. And if we have enough people, then some can go build fence, which is an electric fence. So it's just, boom, boom, stick your poles in and run your wire and hook your solar fence up, your charger up. So,
You
and
know
then
what, Phyllis?
what's
One
that?
way to advertise to get people to come help for whenever we do the pollinator garden and the fence is
Yeah.
like do you want to learn how to set up electric around your bee thing? And that is a huge lesson because there are people that are
Yep.
scared of electric. There are people that don't understand
We can
what
call
kind
it
of
a
charge are
workshop.
they. So
Yeah.
you could totally work that whole
Yep.
event and cover multiple things with it.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Good deal. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the wording, right? It's how you word things to make it look good. So, okay, we'll do that. And, like I said, that'll be, probably May or June. It all depends on your flowers when you want to put them in. So,
It's gonna probably be early May, because anything before that, they're just gonna get because
okay. And I don't plan anything where I live until like the middle of April, because we get our biggest storms in first of April a lot of time, last of March and first of April. And
Yeah.
I'll be by myself. So I don't, if it says snow, then I don't go anywhere. I stay home. So okay, so just remember those dates. And then if you would like to see us do something else like in your community or, whatever, then I know a few of us that live around, you know, maybe you as whoever promotes this, then they can come and help. Like we went to Barb's meeting, was it last year or 2 years ago? Time flies, and you're on mute, babe.
I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. So yeah, and then the ones that were around just went out and hung out at Barb's club meeting. So it was very nice. I enjoyed it.
when are you
Uh,
gonna have a workshop after the class?
Well, it's going to be in April, but it all depends what kind of April we have,
Right.
because
I want to come
sometimes it's
up.
so cold.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up for that. It's twofold. I want to come up and participate, and I want to come up and get boxes from you.
Yeah. All right.
So
So
I'll make that trip in April.
Yeah.
I think the workshops throughout the year are a good idea. I mean, if we can build on that throughout the whole year and even in like the winter months, let's do a meetup somewhere in person. We can do it at random spots throughout the state, and whoever
Yeah.
can make it can make it. It's not an official meeting, but we could do workshops like that anytime we wanted to.
Yep.
Good
I
idea.
like that. Well, I just know that it was said during the retreat that a lot of people could only come to one event because they have children all throughout the summer. They have to participate with that, or they could only afford that one thing. They couldn't afford the workshop and going, but anything that we do like at Jackson's Mill, if they bring their lunch, then I would say it would be free. Um,
Right,
and
because we're
then
getting labor out of them.
yeah,
Right. So I
yeah.
agree. Mhm.
And then if, like we did the workshop and only 3 people showed up this last time, but it was free because they went to the class. And our workshops before at my house was free, but I thought about, if we did that again to charge a little bit and then we would have lunch for them or whatever, and it would just pay for the food. So it's either or, they bring their food and we are free. And then, if I have to give them food, then we have to charge. So, but I like the freeness because then I don't have to sit in the kitchen. And so, yeah, yeah, unless Barb comes up and is the cook for us. She's looking at me like, don't end that. So, but okay, well, I've got that all done. So I guess we can close the meeting.
Well, I have something. Can we
Hey,
talk raffle?
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, let's talk raffle because I have something to talk to you about the raffle.
it all depends on what you want to talk, Michelle, because Chrissy and I
Well,
were talking earlier.
do
If you
do
want a
we want
total,
no, do
oh,
we
to
want
do
to
it again.
do a raffle? Yes.
Okay. Well, Chrissy's gonna she has them in lump sums and she was gonna break it down to see, because I told her it's like, well, that's exactly what I wrote her today. I said, did we was it worth our time or was it not? And she said it was worth our time. We made money off of it.
Cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm gonna be sending her some information from that.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, even though I bought my own, almost all my own tickets, if, I had a chance and
Yeah,
I didn't win anything, but,
The
it
same
went to a good
person won five
cause.
of the gifts too.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I have been working on the piece that I was gonna use for the first prize, the blanket that I'm
Yes.
making.
Yeah.
So we would need 3 more prizes.
Michelle, I'm gonna look, it's winter time. I look for classes. I'm gonna look into taking another barn quilt, and she's got one that's actually a bee. I was thought about
Oh,
Oh,
neat.
taking that and
Neat.
painting the bar quilt, and then I donate that.
Well, I
okay.
can donate a wooden nuke because I'll be going through that and I'll probably just have it stained, but it's empty. It will be an empty wooden
Okay.
nuke.
We also
So,
have to remember that lots of the people who buy tickets are not beekeepers.
right.
So somebody who wasn't a beekeeper who won a wooden nuke wouldn't have anything to do with it.
So would
That's
it be
why I
interesting for those of us that make soaps or lotions or potions to do like
Yes.
a gift basket?
Yes.
Yeah, I
yeah,
can do that.
we could do that, and that could be like one. We'll see what we have, and then figure out which would be first, second, third, and fourth prize.
Yes.
Well, maybe ladies, we could all get together with all of our skills and like I make soap or, I know Bethany is hellacious on lip balm because I still have the one that I bought from her 2 years ago and it still is perfect. It's the spicy one, Bethany. So whatever recipe that is spot on. But, so we can pick from each person and make one big basket from all of us women.
Yes.
Okay,
So, I mean, something like
that would
that.
be nice. And
Amy's lotion bars just won a blue ribbon
Yeah,
down in
yeah,
Louisville.
exactly,
that's
Her
exactly.
true.
stuff's
And
good.
each one of us could do like an 8-ounce honey. So you have one from each member of our club. That would be really neat in that basket too.
That's a lot of honey.
That's what I was just thinking.
That would be its own prize in itself, I think.
That would be cool though.
It
Yeah.
8-ounce
would.
small ones. If everybody donated a small one from each
Yeah,
one
but
of our members,
eight
the eight
ounces
ounce.
is a good bit of honey because that's what I
Yeah.
sell. That's a lot of honey. And I don't
Half
know.
a pound to half a pound.
I'm very stingy with my honey.
So
So,
much.
and I make more than anybody on here, and I still am very stingy to what I do with it. So,
Okay.
you guys are
And
much nicer than I am.
the other
You
question
are.
I have is, does anyone have any suggestion on ticket distribution other than the way that I did it last year?
Hmm.
I got all the tickets here, asked people how many books they wanted, and mailed them out.
Yes.
And then
And
the money
how
was
much?
either brought to the retreat or sent
Right.
into Christie.
Yeah, which ended up sending it to me because her mail was screwy.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
I don't mind for them to send it to me either.
As
I
long as
just,
you're home.
yeah, I will be home. Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because I think we started in February or
yeah,
March with the
yeah,
tickets.
yeah. Well, I could have my postmaster just keep it because and what? This is January and just a month, I'll be home. I'll be home the 1st of March.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So once we figure out what the prizes are, then I can order the tickets.
Right.
okay. Well,
And
I think we
last
need to
year,
have a board meeting.
yeah,
Yeah.
last year we sold them for $2 a piece or 3 for $5.
Yeah. So I like that was a good price, I thought.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a keeper. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So after the board meeting, we'll figure out how many, if we need to buy the same number of tickets or more. Because we got
Yeah,
a really good price on them.
yeah, yeah. But I think Christy said today that they kind of went stale, and then we all hurried up and made a big sale like right before the
Mm-hmm.
retreat. So I think if we do this, we need to try to sell them early and not have such a big wham at the end because we
Mm-hmm.
like I think I sold some and will put Brandy's people's on mine, and she took the money for it and I put it in the till, because she didn't have time enough for me to ship her, and they really wanted, I took pictures, but they really wanted the hard copy in their hand because they spent money for it. Yeah, Kathy.
I think that some of us started earlier and other of us just waited and sold them last minute.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
happened.
right. So maybe we can be held accountable to each other and say, hey, have you sold all yours? And so's got some left. And, so just need to keep up on it this time. We've gone through it once, and like I said, that, Christy made a solid point where, it was just like stagnant. And then right before the retreat, everybody just jumped on board and sold and sold. And that's where we made a lot of our money, which is okay, but it was pretty hectic that those last 2 weeks on
Mm-hmm.
all of us trying to keep up with it. And, you know, so and so
Yeah, and
needs it. Yeah,
what
go
happened
ahead.
also was at the treat was people just brought lump sums of money and said, "Here's raffle,"
Yeah,
but then later I found out it was raffle and some other things were in with the money too. So it did get a little crazy track, and that's why I had to reach out to Boo and be like, "Hey, I need some information from you too because my numbers aren't
yeah,
jiving."
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
And
like it's okay to it's okay that it went stagnant, but I think we lost track of it because we're so spread out
yeah,
across the state, and it's not like when we do a raffle here for my daughter's basketball team, it's very short time frame.
yeah,
We get the tickets 1 week and we may have 2 to 3 weeks to sell it, and we
right.
opened it up longer, which is wonderful because you can get a lot more, but
Yeah,
then we also tend to be like, oh, I have until June to do that, so I'm not even going
right,
to do anything with it now. So
right, right.
maybe we
And
don't
you
Well,
just
open it
then
walk
up as
by them.
early, and maybe
Yeah,
we don't
maybe
open it up as
that's
early.
maybe that's a good idea, Christy, is to put a deadline on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if we want to end it at the retreat, that's fine. We just don't open it up as early. Maybe,
I
2 to 3 weeks may be too short, but we had months. And Boo,
yeah.
you were trying to mail stuff to me. By the way, my mail's still screwed up. I get mail about once a week now. But
Wow.
so yes, we're mailing to Phyllis.
Yeah,
But it's just I don't know, something else. And then that way also I had a couple people write me and say, I lost the actual tickets, but here's the money and here's the names because it was just, such a long time for it.
yeah,
Something for
Okay.
us to think about with that.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
And
what, how
if we
about
start it
March?
late, if we start it later, then we may be able to accumulate more prizes from the
Yeah,
local pool here before we put it out for general sale.
yeah,
Okay. But we need to have the prizes listed on the tickets.
Right. I
Mhm.
still got
right.
to mine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, would starting it in March be okay with you guys? It's
I
March,
I
think
April, May,
even
June, July. That gives
I
us
think you
four
should.
months.
I think even starting in May would be good.
So do
I
I.
Okay.
think so too.
I think
Okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to start in May. That sounds good. All right. Yeah. I know. I don't know. Christy, how is your store run? Is it like Bearsville? Is it his stuff and you just sell it for him, or is
The
it your stuff?
the woodenware,
Yeah.
it's like consignment.
Okay.
So his stuff's sitting in there and I don't give him his share of it until we sell it.
Okay. So, okay.
So
Because
go ahead.
well, I was going to say he really did right by us last year, and I really don't want to keep going back to him, you know.
Yeah.
So we need to find somebody else that might, and I have no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
and I was thinking that, and I don't care to donate any of it. And, because even though we don't go back to Bob, he still does right by me by saying, "Oh, this was for a youth." One of my youth kids needed another hive, and we worked out a deal between me and Bob for him because he supports that so well. But I'm with Boo that
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that we're missing a huge market if like our top prize is something bee related.
Right.
So I
Right.
Yeah,
think if maybe
that's
we
why I
have
was doing the blanket this year.
Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect.
So I think if
Perfect.
we have something woodenware, and Phyllis, it could be like your nuke, but we would
Okay.
put on there an option,
Yep.
have maybe a first, second, third, fourth place if you're a beekeeper, and a
Right.
first, second, third, and fourth place if you're a non-beekeeper, and then whoever the
Yep.
winner is gets to pick between that first place.
Love it.
Does
Yeah.
does
Love
that
it.
make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. It does. It does. And then whatever's left after that. The only thing is when you pick it, you don't know
Right.
unless
And there's
they can we can contact them. Yeah, Rhonda.
So for the raffle, what if, since Christy's on here and she knows somewhat what we made, on each of the prizes, if we do 1, 2, and 3, you have the option of the prize or a value of cash
Yeah, we
on
did
each
that
of the
last year.
prizes.
Yeah.
And
That's what we
then
did last year
whatever
for the
somebody
prize.
doesn't select, we can do something like a raffle or something at the retreat amongst us. So say it's the wooden nuke thing. We could
Okay.
do where we sold tickets to us, who
Oh
definitely
yeah.
would use a nuke, and then recoup some of that money back that way.
yeah, you could even do a silent auction.
Yes,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
That's
that.
good.
Also,
Mhm.
on the raffle tickets, can you have two places to check beekeeper or non beekeeper?
Mm.
And it puts you in the draw then or both. So that if, like, the top prize, we've got a nuke or we've got a blanket, you could put, what categories do you want? Beekeeper, non beekeeper, or both? Also, I would suggest to put out on the club page for us here,
Right.
what is it that you would like to donate and what date does the club need that donation by?
Well, not so much we need the donation by the retreat day, but we need the information to get the tickets.
Right.
Yeah.
But if somebody says, hey, I'm going to donate a table runner, and then they fall through and they don't, what do you do? I'm playing negative Nelly because we know how people are sometimes.
Headhunt them.
Well,
What'd you say, Rhonda?
Headhunt them.
Yeah.
know where you live.
Bad.
That's a very good point.
When
Yeah.
this is Linda Lane. When we did a fundraiser because Shepherdstown is now a bee city. We're
Mhm.
Bee City USA, and we did a fundraiser. And what we did, we went for donations. We physically went to people for donations, and we walked out with the donation at that time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had it in hand. That way, and we stockpiled it until we were ready for the event.
And that way
it
your
worked out
tickets are crystal clear.
Yeah.
exactly. And we had something like 83 things.
Oh
We had
gosh.
we had it at Alma Bee at the restaurant in Shepherdstown. And we had a live auction, a silent auction, a raffle. I think that was it.
Wow.
And we had close to 80 something items.
Well, I don't think we'll ever get that grand.
No, but what I'm saying,
Um,
we went in person. We had a letter
yeah.
and, would you like to donate? And we went in person and we wrote down the
Mhm.
information. And afterwards, we wrote them a thank you note after the event.
Sure. Sure.
Worked out great.
Yeah. Well, take that, you guys absorb what Linda just said and see how we can put it towards our group that's all over West Virginia. And I I don't know if somebody says they would donate something, then maybe that person lives by one of us that's on the board and we can go gather that and then we would have it in person is about the only way that I can think of doing it. Um, I mean, I wouldn't mind going a couple hours and meeting somewhere, to pick up an item. So,
Or if nothing else, if somebody's donating, like a major item, they could possibly ship it. But
yeah,
those who are doing like contributing to the gift basket, just bring it with them because,
yeah,
like if I say I'm going to bring something, but then something comes up and I can't make it, then it's not going to be that big of a deal that it's not in the basket.
right. So you're saying a big ticket item, then we need to have them shipped to us or whatever, but the little
Yeah.
one, then it's just go by word value. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then maybe you can also think about what would be neat to have in a raffle for us. I really like the West Virginia broom. I know Michelle was trying to get that
I
accomplished.
still may be able to. Somebody
Yeah,
else took it over.
I like like the homey, authentic stuff instead of the, bee slippers or, something like that. Like the quilt, the Afghan that Michelle's making, and then, the soap, the hand soap and the lotions and stuff made from the bees, because I know people that don't do bees, they like that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
What can we have? We could, buy a potted flower, or something like that. People love plants. So
Seeds.
yeah, yeah. Just, I mean, it's endless, and that's why we need to have a board meeting
Yes,
to,
I can contribute to a lot of that stuff. I can.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So
Nice pot.
get your
Yeah.
mind, yeah, thinking like that and what we personally can donate. Then, and then after that, I don't know. This is why I'm not in charge of it because it's way beyond my head. Um, for donations and stuff like that. I don't know. Like I always like, smokers and hive tools, but maybe that needs to be like Rhonda was saying, just inside the retreat itself
Mhm.
on that given day. So maybe we can have two of them and, we can, make a gift thing for the raffle and then for women's retreat. I like that idea, Rhonda. I think the more we send home with people, the happier we'll make them, if that
Mhm.
makes any sense.
Mhm.
And I don't mean that downgrading either, because I
I
always
like
like coming home.
I
Do
like going
what?
to the retreat. I like going to the retreats and bringing little gifts home.
Mhm.
See? See? Me
Mhm.
too. Me too. Yep. Okay. All right. We'll plan on that. So, all right. I tried to close this meeting like an hour ago. So, I've missed you guys. I enjoy this. So I make a move that we adjourn the meeting and
I
second,
second.
Sue, who first it? Who made the motion?
Oh, you did.
Oh,
I motion to close the meeting.
thank you. All right.
Boo, second
I'll
it.
second it then.
Just pick one, Kathy. Just pick one. All
Mhm.
right. So we can go into B chat, whatever, if you guys want to go on to that. There's really not much going on right now in your bees. I can stop this recording, maybe.
Well, there was an interesting post that I saw today. Somebody was asking about removing the snow from their hives.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. Keep laughing, Sue.
I'm going to mute myself.
We had a nice conversation about that today. And I asked her, it's like bluntly, I was like, do you remove the snow from your entrance? And she says, no, I do not. And I was like, well, she said, well, I'm headed down to my beehives. I said, well, take a picture of them, see if they're smothered or whatever. And I didn't say that. I said, take a picture of them for me. And she did. And it's really neat because I quit doing it a long time ago, even before, I came here, because at first I was told to remove it. And then I talked to an older guy and Michael Palmer, he puts a hole in the top of in his box so they can
Mhm.
get out that way because his snow is that deep.
Right.
So, but he said if they want out, they will dig out. And
Yep.
it is, she saw it. She said in their little entrance, they've melted it. The
Yep.
heat from the hive has melted it and it gives them away.
I could
And I,
actually feel the heat from the hive yesterday. I went out there, it's cold out. You could actually feel it,
yes,
heat coming off the hives.
yeah.
I
Oh,
went out
oh,
there to check
yeah.
mine today,
Mm-hmm.
and mine was thick with ice
Yeah,
all down the front of it. So I broke that off.
yeah,
I broke
yeah,
off
And
ice too, but
then I had a key in my hand, and I took the key to poke in the hole to break
yeah,
that ice up.
yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
had freezing rain.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It was warm. I was surprised at the heat coming off those hives.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's amazing. And therefore, because we wrapped ours in styrofoam all four sides one time and we lost more than we saved. And I think we made them too hot.
Hmm.
Yep. So something to think about. So don't think,
Yeah.
they're losing a lot of heat that you have to go and wrap them up. So,
That's why.
Interesting. When I was out there with ETN TARDIS class, he's in the Yukon. He keeps 8 to 10 hives. It gets to be 40 below zero at his house.
wow,
He
I
does
can't
not wrap
imagine.
his hives, but what he said, he leaves less honey than we do here in Pennsylvania because his bees go into that state of torpor
Mm-hmm.
and they don't wake up versus here we have it gets cold and then it gets
Right,
warm and then it gets
right.
cold and it gets warm, so they get more active and they eat their supplies. Up there it's just his ground freezes 12 feet down. I mean
Oh
it's
no.
Wow.
yeah,
So,
Wow.
so
We're,
don't
we're
die in
six,
wintertime.
we're 6 inches.
I mean, it was super. It was that's the beauty of going to this expo is being exposed to
Sure.
so many different people. I took the American Honey Training Council judging class. So this is the class I was supposed to take last year when my house broke. So Louisa and Deb Main had taken it. So they were stewards this time, but the second half of our class, they had us set up to do a artificial honey and wax judging in the same room where they bring in the exhibits in. And the amount of knowledge that came through there was freaking amazing because the gentleman that runs the American Honey Training Council for America is Brutz English. He's like 5'4" and he's like 5 feet wide. He
Yes,
is a
I
good old
saw him.
boy from Georgia, down in Piedmont, Georgia, where
Yep.
he says they only get like 5 weeks for their bees to bring in honey. They have no fall flow.
Mm.
And then the gentleman he works with, that guided him to start this American Honey Training Council, and I'm going to have his name wrong. It's a gentleman from Ireland, and he came in and he taught a Michael Young. I can't remember. I should know his name. I don't, and I apologize. But Louisa worked with him as a steward. She got to judge mead with him, and he is one of Ireland's premier mead making masters. Fascinating. Just the wealth of knowledge is insane. I'll be quiet.
No,
See,
you're
Bob,
fine. All
you were
right,
right
Bobby.
about the
See,
name. It is
Bobby
Michael
Cook
Young.
thinks. I think she's already gone, but then we had a couple new ones.
Yep.
Um,
15.
and Bethany, you went to the expo. What was your except what was your
Experience.
highlights and experience? Yeah.
Um, Honestly, it would probably be um what is his name? The scientific beekeeper guy. Sorry,
Randy
I can't get
Oliver?
this.
Randy
Yes,
Oliver.
his classes were stunning. I loved his classes.
No.
Um, it was really amazing seeing, and there was another lady, she was an Indian woman. I cannot remember her name. Um, Hers was very like scientific data, very well spoken, and she's like a great speaker, great
Maria
information.
Spivak. Was it Maria Spivak?
No, no, she
No.
wasn't there this year. Um, and she's, I think, in the what she was affiliated with the University of Mississippi, and
Oh,
then
that's the pollinator lady.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, that's the
Um,
pollen lady. Yeah.
yes. I forgot Deb and I talked about that, that she said you and someone else sent in
Kathy.
samples of,
Kathy.
yes,
Well,
so
Mhm.
totally going to be doing that.
I'll do it next year. I'll try
And
again.
I
I
want to
think
do it. So when you guys find that link, post it on
I've got all
Women's.
the
So
information. Yeah.
cool.
I took
Well, post
I
it
took
on Women's because
photos.
I want to do it too.
let's start
Yeah.
early.
I
Not with
have
my
a pollen trap that they sent me that doesn't fit my hives, and I'll be glad to give it to somebody
Okay.
if they
Um,
want it.
I'll take it.
but yeah, I mean,
Okay.
just seeing a lot of the cool, things. The vendor show was
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, absolutely
Mm.
ridiculous, so big.
Wow.
Um, I went through the whole thing probably 8 or 10 times, row by row by row by
I'm
row
willing
by
to be
row.
there and follow you around. You always find the best stuff.
It was this year, this guy had, now I always have good intentions like we do, but I bought the like basically like that shipping saran wrap people use to like wrap things up. Um, because Mike Ryan, for instance, I've seen him store his boxes over winter. He gets everything done and then wraps it all up and it's all nice and neat and protected.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I didn't do the moth crystals or anything. Anyway, I'm like walking through and I spy down the aisle this big stack of boxes in a plastic bag, like just looked like a giant and clear plastic bag, but it was just this big present of boxes. And I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
So I had to walk down there and see him. And it's that really, really, really thick, you're not going to just tear it
Uh-huh.
plastic.
Uh-huh.
And it had 8 or 9 deep boxes in it.
Oh, wow.
And he said, I mentioned about the saran wrap stuff that people
Right.
do. And he said he had done that before. He said, but the problem is, what happens if you want one of your boxes? You don't need them all or whatever. He said,
Yeah.
you have to tear it open. In
Yep.
this case, because he invented this, he said, and he said his wife was probably going to bury him in one. Um, but he said he just clipped the zip tie at the top and he
Uh-huh.
said, I need a box. I can take one box and zip tie it back closed. I was like, okay. Because I've got a building full of boxes that are just sitting there exposed. I just wanted to try it out. I got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
what else? The new treatment, the new, uh,
The strips.
what's it? Yes,
I've
with the
seen
oxalic extended release. I got those. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited about that because everything that they were talking about seemed like it was a good treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the price that we got there, the prices you get there are considerably better. So
Yeah.
it's like $87, when you buy it, but then you also have to have it shipped. I think I got it for like $10 less than that and didn't have to ship it.
Right.
So,
And what
um,
Bethany is hitting that is really interesting at this expo is like most of us that are sitting here right now have been beekeeping for a long time. So you go up and down, and this is the largest vendor show in the United States. And
Yep.
you walk up and down. And this year, instead of like pushing myself to go hear people talk, because Thursday I did an 8-hour honey judging class. And then Saturday I did a 2-hour microscopy class. I only went to 3 talks because I know for the price of my ticket, Cayman Reynolds professionally records every single talk. So in February, I'm going to get a code, and then I could sit here in the privacy of my home and listen to the talk. So I really concentrated on the vendors this year. And I spent my time going down to things that I usually would not have stopped at and asked questions. And it's all these beekeepers that have invented things to do a different way that works for them. And you ask, well, why did you do this? Well, how do you, okay, I vape with oxalic acid. How does it work with this hive? And you get to have these conversations that are just mind blowing. And it goes on and on and on.
I mean, I literally personally asked Cayman a question. I literally spoke to Bob Binney in person. Like I asked him a question last year, or, I spent hundreds of dollars on at his booth.
Right.
If you have questions of these people, the one woman who does the beeswax videos on YouTube that for the shows, what is her name? She was
Virginia
there.
Webb.
Yes, Virginia Webb was in attendance. So I didn't happen to see her. I saw a photo of her with Michael Young. But that would have been really cool. You could have maybe like in person, like ask questions. You can see, for instance, those honey show submittals, people submissions, and you can talk to the honey judges and get questions, or ask questions and get really cool like tips and tricks. And it's like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. And it's interesting too because they had a whole other like segment of talks the whole time for sideliner beekeepers as well, like or commercial beekeeping as well. So you have people with thousands of hives there to people with no hives yet.
Most interesting tip I got is when you are entering a black jar honey contest, no matter where you enter it, instead of like I have honey that's light, I have honey that's dark. The suggestion I was given by the judges was to take your honeys and mix them together because it gives you a more general taste than a very specified sweet or darker taste. But like to do the black jar, they said that people enter black jar honey and will suspend a glass eyeball by a string, joking around because they don't look at the honey. It's in that black jar. And they were talking about the things people did. But they said the best way to enter black jar honey is to take multiple honeys that you produce and mix them together. And it kind of like blends and takes out that taste. Same thing I learned. They said when you're entering show honey, instead of taking honey that you have spun through your extractor, to use the honey that you have saved from your cappings, because that honey has never been spun to introduce extra air bubbles into it. I mean, the amount crazy stuff that I would have never.
Right.
And then when you do your wax, one of the things they recommend for our judging kit is this LED light that's like 4 inches long, and you put it under a bar of wax and it shows all the imperfections all the way through. Another trick that I learned was like when you are entering bars of wax to make sure there's no brown, but it needs to have an aroma of honey. And if your wax doesn't have a good, strong aroma, they said take your bar of wax, put it in a Ziploc bag of honey, leave it for a few days, rinse it off, buff it out with your fingers, and then put that in to enter it. And then it's got that aroma of honey to it.
Oh my.
I
Huh.
mean,
It soaks it up.
it's the crazy stuff that I heard was absolutely fascinating. Okay, I'm going to mute myself because I'll quit talking.
So nice to
And
hear other voices. Oh,
and once they get their movies, their videos to them, then we will share. We'll do popcorn nights on Tuesdays, and because Debbie lets us have hers, she always has. Well, I think for 2 years we bought them or something. The women paid for them, but yeah. So I'm sure between the three of these ladies that we can borrow their videos and come and watch them so we can learn from them as well. Like Bethany said, she was blown away with Randy Oliver. Well, we should be able to watch his presentations. Yeah.
And Randy
Yeah, it was great.
Oliver was there in his Tiva sandals with his naked toes hanging out, even though they were getting 11 inches of snow the next day. He's a trip.
Yeah, he's a California hippie for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he showed photos. He's like, we don't like to wear very many clothes when we're working bees. It's hot in California. And he's like shirtless, shorts and his sandals and
Yeah.
crazy.
No thanks. My husband can wear shorts and they don't bother him. I wear shorts and it's like, holy cow, they love me. So yeah, I wear pants and I sweat. So, but all right, I guess I'm done. Anybody else have anything else to talk about? Terry Robertson, it sure is nice to see you, I guess. I mean, I see a name, but I don't see you. Oh, there she is. My goodness.
hey, I got
I
a
forgot what you
question.
look like.
Terry, do you have a question?
I do not have a question.
Oh,
Really?
I do not have a question. I've been enjoying
Good
it.
to see you though, Terry.
It
yeah.
is good to
I
see you
know.
again.
I've just been so busy. Even Bill's like, your beach hats tomorrow night. And I'm like, okay.
Aw.
And tonight we had dinner and I was cleaning up. He goes, your beach hats tonight. I'm like, okay. I've just been, Rhonda can vouch. We've just been so busy and have a new grandson in North Carolina. So
Congratulations.
we've been
Yeah.
back and forth to North Carolina, sometimes twice a month. And it's just, I've just
Congratulations, dear. I just
You
had
look
my
happy.
8th grandbaby.
oh, jeez.
Ooh. And Rhonda, when's your baby due?
Oh, he came 3 weeks early, right before Terry's, so I have my second one as well.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
you
thank
three
you.
ladies in
Thank
an
you.
aisle there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rhonda.
all boys, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
We all went through the same thing. They went through Rhonda. I texted her for something and she's like, oh, I said, my grandson came 2 weeks early. Then they decided that he was probably full term and they miscalculated. And she goes, oh, mine came. And I'm like, yeah, he had jaundice, had to go to the hospital. She's like, oh, mine did too.
6 days in the hospital. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's a shame.
But they're great. And, so that
Yeah.
it's just been one thing after another. And Tuesday
Sure.
nights coming, I'm like, I need to get on there.
Well, you've been missed for sure, but I know everything's going okay. So yeah,
My
it's
bees
good.
were alive
Good to know.
last week, last week. Last week when I went in to see if they had, I have 9 hives. Me, who wanted,
Good.
yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
think it. 2 of them are little.
Mine seems to be them. Eight of mine are really strong. Doesn't sound real strong, but who knows?
Right.
I ended up with 3 nukes. I gave one to, we did a last year. Well, I guess it was 2023. We gave our scholarship to these twin boys, and they're rotten as could be. One of the ladies said they were in their hives at midnight. I'm like, why? She goes, because they're boys. They're 14-year-old boys, but their hive, the one died, and then somebody caught them a swarm, and then a bear got it, and I had 3 nukes. I'm like, okay, I'll give you my nuke, and then I ended up going into winter with 2 more nukes. I put them in a box, but they're small, but both of them were alive last week. I don't know about after all this, and I did go clean my entrances off today. So, and I blew in mine. I cleaned it off, and then there was snow packed in the holes, so I blew in the holes. The first time I did, the snow just came.
I see little dead bees scattered around the driveway. You can see some of them just coming out and dying.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
we haven't
Yeah.
had any. I haven't seen.
House cleaning.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well,
So,
that's why I like doing mite counts with the boards in the winter time, because when you pull them out, you can see where they've been working.
yes. Yep.
Yes. I,
Absolutely.
Most, yeah. And my
I,
mite counts are great. The most I
Yes.
had was 2.
That's
I
fantastic.
saw a big difference. I think one of the reasons why my mic counts were high, I don't think my gun was working as well. Because that last time I went out there, man, there was a lot of
Mhm.
smoke.
Did you get it fixed?
Well, I got it fixed. Plus, I bought one. I used one from Veronica, and she gave me a good price on it. And mine's a 110, and the one I bought from her is a 120, so it's even a little stronger. But big difference in the fog.
Good. Hmm.
Oh, another thing at the conference, I saw Karan, who had won the quilt from us in the spring
Yeah.
at the conference. And he's the sweetest. I love him to death. Every time I see him, I have to ask him about the quilt, how that quilt's treating him. And he gave me a hug and he's like, "You're not even the third person to ask me that yet." Did like that day. So everybody was asking him while we were there about that quilt.
Oh, neat.
Is he the
He's
guy
the
who
sweetest.
misses playing?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the weather was, that was the thing. Most all of us left, the West Virginia folks and a lot of everybody else left a day early. We left early before the conference was even finished to get back. Just better safe than sorry, because
You
Mhm.
guys were
Louisville
Right.
was
smart because I'll tell you,
Louisville
it
was
started.
The
getting
weather was terrible, but
weather
I'm going to tell
early.
you what, the state of West Virginia at that conference is extremely, extremely greatly appreciated by things that are donated. Marianne Sears
Yep.
entered 23 entries into the Honey Show. So that made the state of West Virginia stand out to Brett's English. Plus, she was the grand prize winner.
With that
Her
mountain
and
house.
Larry also always bring a massive, massive load of objects for the silent auction for their young beekeeper program. So I really truly feel that when you talk to Cayman and Laura Reynolds that run that show, the state of West Virginia is massively recognized for
Yep.
big hearts and open souls that do just amazing things. And it makes my
Absolutely.
heart so happy. And I'm going to
Yep.
mute again.
No, you guys represent us very well. Yeah. 'Cause- Yep. That's awesome. That's something to look forward to for you guys that really like to do stuff like that. Um,
See you, Christy.
yeah, see you, Christy. She's on her way home. Safe travels.
Um,
So,
yeah, I really missed it. I did next year. Maybe somebody will let me bunk with them, then I'll go.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Yeah.
fun because you meet people there that you only see at the show that you do
Mm-hmm.
year in and year out. And like Robert and I, my brother goes with me. My husband laughs because now I travel, but it's with my brother. And we went to get lunch and we go sit out in the lobby and we sit at a table with 3 men that are all beekeepers in Michigan. So you're like, how many hives do you have? How long have you been doing this? And then no matter who you speak to there, they're beekeepers. And you just get this
Mm-hmm.
amazing, just non-judgmental cross
That's what I was
section
gonna say.